Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, last episode we built our rocket and now we have landed on the moon, and it looks like we had a bit of a crash landing. As you can see here, we have a lot of broken bricks around us. So today we are going to start exploring the moon. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. So, with our trip to the moon, it looks like we've been given a series of quests that we need to do. We need to get some moonstone, and we need to find Desh, which is an ore here on the moon. We're going to use that to make our Tier 2 rocket, and that will allow us to go to Mars. From Mars, we get the Tier 3 rocket. I've actually already made the netherite suit, which I apparently it thinks is locked, but it's not actually locked. You can actually make this at any time after you have the original suit. So I've got that, and then we're going to go to Venus and make a Tier 4 rocket, and who knows what we're going to do after that. But for now, we are on the moon. Let's get some moonstone, and let's see about making some Desh. It looks we need to find some raw Desh to make this. So we're going to be looking around for Desh ore. That is our goal here. And it looks like everything is completely silent here on the moon, because of course there's no air. So we are going to need to just collect all this up. And I wonder is this moonstone? Which stone is this? Moon sand, basalt. No, we haven't found moonstone yet. So we need to be on the lookout for actual moonstone. Now, we are here on the edge of some sort of a precipice. Ah, there is moonstone. So maybe what we do here, and is this is soul soil. We don't care about that. Maybe let's infinimine up a bunch of this. Let's see how much we get. Oh, a whole lot. A whole heck of a lot. Okay, good. And now we've fallen down into a hole, so we might have to mine our way back out of this cavern. So we should probably go exploring down here and see if we can't find any of this Desh that they are talking about. We're going to grab up a bunch of the moonstone here. 22. I don't know if we really need more than that or not, but we'll go ahead and grab up half a stack. Okay, so that's one quest done. And now Desh nuggets. Oh, so actually we get these from Jumbo smelting a whole lot of moonstone. So is there actually a way to generate moonstone? There is. Oh, and only a Tier 2 support frame. So you know what? We could actually just take 36 pieces of this moonstone and set ourselves up a miner back home. I'm not sure if we need anything else then as a result here than just the moonstone that we're gathering. Well, we'll go ahead and grab that, and let's just explore for a little while and see what it is that we find here. All right, so I didn't find anything in the caves, but I did start exploring the surface a little bit more, and the first thing I found was this weird tunnel here. So there's some sort of a shaft going down this way, which, I hurt myself really badly falling down. Apparently I can eat in my spacesuit, so that's fine, but everything is real dark in here. Let's see if we find anything. Warped stem, block of iron plating. It's interesting. These are, it looks like furnaces with nothing in them. And, oh, who are you? It's very dark. I can barely see here. I wish I had brought some light with me, but these appear to be aliens that I think I should be able to trade with, but they're not willing to trade with me, so I'm not sure what to do about that. No? You won't trade with me? No. Well, I have to say this is relatively anticlimactic. We've met our first aliens, but it's really too dark to see them. Oop, and I am breaking their fields. They're probably not happy about that, but yeah, doesn't look like they'll let me engage with them or interact in any way, and they have an awfully dark place here. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, it was nice meeting you all, but I guess it's time to move on and see what else we can find. Well, we made a nice big loop, but we didn't find anything else of note here on the moon's surface. So if there's anything else, maybe it's deeper in the caves, or we'd have to go further afield to find it. But I explored a decent amount of the map and just came up with nothing other than those tunnels that we kept seeing. So, and they were mostly empty, so it wasn't really very useful. I know after playing things like Twilight Force and some of those other mods, I just feel like there could have been more here, but maybe some of the other planets will hold more interesting things for us. So we are going to take our lander and head on back home to our base. Okay, so that was a interesting adventure that didn't really yield much for us, I think. What we're going to do is set up a miner for our moonstone. But you know what? Before I set up the miner for the moonstone, I have an idea here. As I recall, this pack actually has waystones in it, and that might be the way that we get back and forth home from these planets that we are going to visit. So let's go ahead and grab up our tech bucks here, and let's unlock the Waystones mod. We should have done this a whole long time ago. So, Waystone, Mastery of Waystones. No, we just need regular Waystones. So let's go ahead and make this. We're going to do our research paper for Waystones, and now we should be able to unlock this. Great. Now, how do we actually make a Waystone? Let's see here. Waystones. We need a warpstone to make that. And is there... How do we make a warpstone? Oh, we can make that. We have all of the ingredients for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a couple of Waystones up. So first things first, let's make ourselves a bunch of warpstones. I think, what, 4 for now should be plenty. And then let's make ourselves up a bunch of the Waystones. Oh, and we need stone bricks for that. No problem there. Oh, except for that we have filled up our inventory once again. So let's make ourselves up some stone bricks. Let's do that. Great. And now let's make ourselves our Waystones. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, and let's do 4 for good measure. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. So now we have Waystones done. Let's take one of these and put it down right here in our base. Right in the middle? Right in the middle, why not? And we're going to call this Skyblock Home. Yeah, let's do that. Skyblock Home. Great. And now we can use that to teleport to places. So I don't think we are going to actively need to go back to the moon anytime soon, but we, at least on the other planets, might want to go back and forth. So we're going to potentially use that. Now with that done, let's go ahead and make ourselves up another miner. There we go. And I wonder if I have any lower tier frames left hanging around here. Tier 3 is going to be more than enough. So let's grab our tier 3 support frames. And what size do we have here? We've got sapphire on those. So let's make ourselves up a couple of sapphire blocks. There we go. And we'll just come right here off of these tier 6 frames that we had set up earlier, just like that. And I think this is where we are going to make all of our moon ore. And perfect. Okay, great. So now we can take our moonstone and put this down. There's our moonstone. We put our miner on top, and on top of that, we put a storage drawer. We grab our sapphire blocks and put those on the corners, and that's going to increase our tick speed considerably. Now we're up to 50. And now what we have to do is find where we left our gold key so that we can lock that and make sure nothing else gets in there. And last, we need to wire it into our network. So we grab our standard import cables and our network cable, put the standard cable on top, or the standard import cable on top. And then it doesn't look like we have anything cabled over that side. So let's just go ahead and put it right here. There we go. And now we have moonstone into our network. I'm going to grab up all of that. And it looks like we need to use, what was it, 16 of these to make 1 nugget of Desh in our jumbo smelter. Well, I continue to be glad that we did not get rid of our jumbo smelter, but this is going to take a while. So we're going to let this cook for a bit, and then we are going to turn this into Desh nuggets. Okay, there we go. We've cooked up some moonstone and we got Desh nuggets. And I think we finally have enough Desh nuggets here to at least make 1 ingot of Desh. There we go. So that's going to knock off these next 2 quests. So there's that one, and there is that one. Now, we need to make ourselves a tier 2 rocket, which means, oh yes, more hellish techium. Of course it is. Everything else seems mostly the same, except for this compressed Desh, which means we need a bunch of Desh ingots. And it looks like we're doing the same for the tank. And what else here? Is the engine also going to use a bunch of Desh? Yes, of course it is. Okay, great. So we need both to make up a bunch more hellish ingots and at least 3 of them. More than 3? I can't remember. So we're going to need to make a bunch of hellish ingots, and then we also are going to need to make a whole bunch more Desh. So once again, we are playing the manual crafting and waiting game, which is, as we all know, my least favorite game. Is there any other way to get Desh in this pack? So I would really love to get Moon Desh Ore. It looks like we can indeed do that. So all we need to do is get 4 times 36 pieces of Desh around Moonstone, which we are generating now. So 36 pieces of Moonstone, and let's see, what's that? 7,244 pieces of Desh ingots, which is 9 times that many. That's well over like 1,200 pieces. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty expensive here. But the good news is the bad news is we need a tier 10 support frame, which means we need to make more beacons. Thankfully, we do have a reusable source of nether stars now that we can dupe nether stars in our resource duplicator. So we've got 5 of them right there already. That's not a big deal anymore. But the Desh ingots are a big deal. Well, that took forever. I basically ended up having to go and mine everything on the moon. To that end, I went ahead and set up a waystone so I could get back and forth from the moon pretty quickly. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's requiring experience points to go back and forth, but the warpstone definitely did not require any points. So I was using that, although this does have a recharge time. So now let's make up the last of our Desh ore. There we go. Okay, that's 45. That's more than we actually needed. We actually only need 36 of that, but it's fine. It's fine. Too much is better than too little for now. All right, so let's take that. And the other thing we need to do is make up our next tier of our mining frames. So to do that, we are going to need to use our nether stars to make beacons. So let's use these here. There's our beacon recipe. And we're going to need 11, I think, because we need 32 frames. That might actually be too many. I think we might actually need less than that. But let's go ahead and grab up. No, maybe that's exactly right. 33 frames. Yep, exactly right. Okay, sometimes I second guess myself, and then I remember that no, everything is perfect. Okay, so we're going to use that with our Desh ore, and again, we are going to use, I think, Enderium blocks here as the caps. So let's go ahead and top these up. We'll do 2. I think we only need 2. So we're going to go ahead and put our tier 10 support frames down right here for our Desh ore on the existing blocks. Oops, don't want to lose that one. We can't afford to lose more than one here. So we're going to put that down next to our previous generators that we had. So there is all of our Desh ore in place into our frame. There is a miner. We got a 20 tick rate, and we can put a storage drawer on top of that. I think we have our key still laying around so we can lock it. Now, as it turns out, the modpack author in their infinite wisdom, or I guess sadism maybe, has only allowed the jumbo furnace to smelt the Desh ore. There's no other way of smelting this. So we literally get 8-to-1 on Desh. That is almost as bad as just using the moonstone itself, honestly. So once we have that smelted, we can then turn the Desh ore into some of these other ingredients that we are going to need for the next tier of rocket, the Desh engine, the Desh plating, and whatnot. So we are going to hang out and wait for the Desh ore to come in so that we can start making those pieces for the next tier of rocket so that we can go to the next planet. Okay, so we're going to take 6 pieces of our Desh ore, put it into the compressor so that we get the compressed plates. That'll just take a second here. All right, so let's go ahead and make up our tier 2 rocket. First of all, we're going to need a set of fins, 4 fins all day. We're going to need a pair of tanks. Both of these are also using Desh. We'll just drop this in here for now. 1, 2. We are going to need another nose cone, and for that, we're actually missing the redstone torch. So let's grab that up. There is our nose cone. And then all that's remaining is the engine. So let's make the fan again, and we will make the engine frame again. And I'm really wish that we could break down our machines, but we can't. Oh, we are missing a Desh plate. So let me grab up one more piece of Desh out of here. and go drop that into our plate machine. And there we go. There is our Desh engine. With all of those pieces in hand, we should be able to come over here and assemble our rocket. So I think this just goes like this, and then this. Okay, great. Now we have a tier 2 rocket. Excellent. That was a very loud noise. So that knocks that off. With this rocket, we should now be able to go to Mars. All right, so there's 2 buckets of fuel, and then we need to give it 1 more bucket of fuel. Surprised we can get to Mars so cheaply here, but apparently all it takes is 3 buckets even in a tier 2 rocket. And now it's time to blast off again. So here we go, time to go to Mars. Okay, so on our map, we can choose where we want to go. In this case, we can't go to Mercury or Venus. We need a tier 3 rocket to get there. So we are going to choose Mars. And I guess we are just going to go straight to Mars itself. No need to go to any of its moons right now. And here we are coming in for a landing on the surface of Mars. Now this looks pretty barren again. I guess all of these locations are going to be pretty barren because we are in space. The quest line says that we need Mars stone here, and I think the use of this Mars stone, if we smelt it, is to give us Ostrum. So that is the next type of ingot we need, and this is Mars sand. I assume we need to start finding some caves down there to get our Mars stone. Let's head on down here and make sure that is indeed correct. Mars stone. Yeah, all this is Mars stone. Okay, great. Now, we are going to do the same thing we did last time. I'm going to set down a waystone here. Let's put this down here. We're going to call this Mars mining, just like so. And now we are going to take our remaining pickaxes here and start doing some more of the infinimining again, or ultramining, I should say, and just clear out a large amount of the bottom of this. Just like so. And this is exactly what I had to do last time that took so long. It does eat through our hunger really, really quick, so we do need to continue to eat our apples, but we are just going to mine up a whole bunch of this until we have enough here to make the next section. This Ostrum here, that's what we need. So I'm just going to collect a whole bunch of this. This is going to take me a while again, so I'm just going to basically dig my way out of this cavern a large chunk at a time. Okay, back at our base, we are slowly smelting down all of the Mars stone that we have gotten on our mining expedition and turning that into Ostrum. And this time we're not going to use the Ostrum for anything else. And so it turns out we're not really using the Desh for anything else. So we only need 6 pieces of Ostrum for the compressed Ostrum. Then we need, let's see here, 8 for tanks, so that's 14. And then we need 2 more for the engine, so that's 16 pieces all said and done here. I think we might be already there. Perfect, yeah, so we are not going to set up a miner for this because, or at least at this point we're not, because that's more than enough. So let's take our 6 pieces out, and I did notice that we do need 1 more Desh plate, so let's grab up our Desh wherever it is. There we go, and make 1 more Desh plate while we're at it as well. So this goes into the compressor. There's the 6 there, and our plate as well. All right, there are our plates, and then we can come back over here and make up the rest of our ingredients. So let's go ahead and make a tank. Let's make a second tank. Let's make our engine. Again, same recipe as before for all these engine parts. I don't know why it requires us to do it from scratch each time, but I'm sure there's method to the madness there. Dump our extra Ostrum back in our system. And, oh, we do need to make another nose cone. So another redstone torch, another nose cone, and 4 more fins. Great. Now we can make a tier 3 rocket. And I believe with the tier 3 rocket, we now should be able to go pretty much everywhere that remains in the pack. I could be wrong about that. Let's see, those actually go there, and these go here, and this goes here. Perfect. Tier 3 rocket is done. All right, we've completed a bunch more quests here, so let's grab up all of our goodies. We have done these as well. Why aren't we getting credit for that, though? Let's see here. Let's try dropping them and then seeing what happens. There we go. Now we have those quests knocked off. Okay, wonderful. Netherite spacesuit is done. Now it looks like we are on to Venus. And the Venus stone, I assume, is going to be the same thing as before, right? We use the Venus stone for literally nothing else but smelting into calorite. Calorite is then turned into calorite ingots, and calorite ingots apparently can only be used for making the next tier again of our spaceships. So let's go ahead and grab back up our storage drawer, and we are going to make ourselves a bunch more picks up, and then we are going to make our transit to Venus. All right, tier 3 rocket is in place. Let's go on and get on out of here. Okay, well, it looks like Venus is way more lively than the last couple of places we went. You can see there's already some colonies here, apparently. All right, so let's see if in these colonies we have any friends. Oh, they look very well armed. That does worry me a little bit here. Okay, well, maybe we can get up there to them if we build a bridge, but I didn't really bring any building materials. Maybe let's head over here to this, whoa, expansive space and check it out before we head over there. This is interesting. These are all nether blocks. I guess that makes sense that Venus is very much like the nether. Hello, are you friendly? Can we talk? Well, apparently we can't talk and we can't trade. And this is a very interesting house you have here. Probably be a shame if anything happened to it. Let me just start mining up some of this Venus stone here. That's going to complete that quest for us. And we will also see if we can't build ourselves a bridge to get up there, because I want to investigate these spaces. So can I just do this? Let's just build ourselves a little stairwell. Let's see what there is to see here. Okay. Okay, a lot of people hanging out. Lodestone and gilded blackstone. Yeah, this looks very nether-like. Interestingly, nether-like. Oh, they are aggro now. Apparently they don't like me poking through their stuff. So let's go ahead and take these guys out. I'm sorry. I was just looking in your barrels, dude. Okay. Well, we're gonna... Ugh. All right. Well, the pig rows here, they killed me pretty much immediately. So I'm not gonna mess with them. I'm gonna keep a safe distance. So we have now learned they don't like me poking in their things. I find this geodesic dome thing that they've got here pretty interesting as well. I guess it's not technically a geodesic dome, but some sort of arcology they have built for their native habitat. But I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to give them a little bit of room here. We are going to head back towards our lander, and we are going to start mining up as much of this Venus stone as we can carry so that we can head on back to our base with the Venus stone in hand for our mining needs. Okay, that's 3 pickaxes worth of Venus stone, so let's go ahead and teleport ourselves back home. Alright, and now we can take our drawer and drop this back in for our jumbo auto smelting. And that'll just crank through and burn these down. Alright, there we go. We have a whole bunch of the calorite, which is the next ingredient that we need here. Let's just go ahead and dump all this in here and make as many blocks of that or ingots of that as we can. And I believe it's going to be exactly 16 again that we are going to need here. So let's go ahead and start compressing that calorite. And we are going to start making the last of our rocket pieces here. So let's remove all of those. And now, let's see here. We use the calorite to make our tanks. One more tank. We use the calorite then to also make our engine. There's our engine frame. We can use our engine fan, and then those get put together here into our engine. Okay, great. And I think that should be everything that we need here for that. We just need to wait for the last of our compressed calorite to come out. And I already made up the nose cone and rocket fins because we already know that recipe. Put our tanks in place. Put our engine in place, and there is our tier 4 rocket. And that completes this entire quest line. Now, before we stop for the day, I do want to mention one thing here. I looked ahead a little bit for our voided techium, and our voided techium, unfortunately, you guessed it, uses blocks of those ingredients that I thought we just didn't need. So as it turns out, we are going to need a whole lot more of our calorite, ostrum, and Desh. So we have Desh production here locally on this planet, but we are also going to need to do the calorite production here, and that is gonna take us a while here because we need to make calorite ore. Calorite ore is going to take a bunch more calorite, and then we do the same thing with our ostrum. So I'm going to go mining on our other planets here for a long while until we can make enough of that ore that we can do something with. But I am going to do that between episodes. I'm not going to make you all watch me mine for hours and hours and hours just to get a little bit of stone. So instead, we're going to call that the end of this episode of Enterprise Architecture. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends!